Yeah, I know. The box is already open. I couldn't help myself with this one. Hello everybody, welcome back to Grow Light Delights, episode number 2. I just filmed the first episode of this one where we unboxed the Grow Planner 150 watt LED light. I was very impressed with it. Happy with most of everything except for a couple of the minor details that they did not include the manual, but I was able to find it online, blah, blah, blah. If you haven't seen the episode, go back and watch it. I just made it probably yesterday. I don't know, it depends on when I make these videos, but you'll find it. Just search Grow Light Delights. How many other videos could you find on the internet for that? Because this is the only Grow Light Delights out there, right? Grow Light Delights, baby! Woo! Alright, here we go. We are unboxing the Spider Farmer SF650 watt grow light today. Very excited for it. As you can see, I already opened it up because I was like, wow, this is a big box. I wasn't really expecting like such a grow light, but it is pretty light. You know, like what do they got going on here? And I didn't know when I was going to make the video, so long story short, here's the grow light. It also comes with the power supply thingies and the plugs, and one end goes into the wall. Since the driver is inline and not on the fixture itself, you got this block here, and then this thing plugs into your light, and this thing plugs into the wall. We'll talk about that later. And then we have these cool thingamajigs. They are tangled. That's what they are. They go onto the top of the light like this. They're a little bit different than usual. And then what happens, I'm assuming that this is long enough, yeah, to make a little loop here. So then you can loop this at the top, screw it down tight, and then that sucker will hang wherever you want it to. So a little bit different than what you usually see with some grow lights these days, which is like the plastic retractable one where you pull the string and it holds it up. But nice, I like it. Nothing wrong with the way these are designed at all. Maybe a little bit less convenient than the normal retractable unit that we see these days. This will work great for exactly what I'm using them for. So Spider Farmer must have known what I was doing down here in the basement. Take out the manual and shove that thing off to the side because we won't be needing that box no more. We are going to, well, first we're going to give you impressions of the light. We're going to show you its profile. As you can tell, it is a long light, not a short little light like normal. It's got this Spider Farmer thing on here. This is very important to the manufacturing of the light, so you know which light it is, because otherwise you might not know which light you're using to grow your plants. So it's got this thing on it here, so you can see that it's Spider Farmer. You're going to see this light in many upcoming videos here as we are going through some changes of ownership here at the company of the indoor growing garden area. I.e., I have gotten more bored with these houseplants and want to grow flowers and vegetables down here compared to what I've been doing. So hopefully y'all like that too. It's going to be more experimentation for me, more gardening fun for me, and that's why I'm doing it, because I can show you building your passion for growing is something that's quite easy. Because rule number one, there are no rules when it comes to gardening. You can do whatever the hockey sticks you want. You can grow your plants in straight up water if you want to. You can grow them in soil with microorganisms and mycorrhizal fungi if you want to. You can do whatever you want. There's all kinds of ways to grow many different plants, and the more and more we experiment, the more fun it is to us, the more maybe efficient it is for our lifestyles, the more we can grow the gardening community. And well, shucks, if more people are gardening, the better the world is going to be. That's my motto, right? So, whoa. Careful. These things are like nunchucks. Ah. Oh. So, danger, high voltage. This thing is long. I'm not sure how long exactly, but if I were to measure it, it's about 36 inches long. It looks like we've got 4 different types of diodes on here or something or other. We're going to look at all of the cool different statistics in a second, but first I want to get this thing to stand up cool so it looks nice in the video for y'all. We'll use the power supply. Nope. There we go. So quick rundown on the parameters that you need to look at in a grow light if you're purchasing a grow light. If you're a beginner, you want to watch this section for sure. If you've been dealing with grow lights for a while, skip forward a few minutes and I'll be past this. We've got to talk about PAR, PPF, PPFD, and PPE as well. So PAR is photosynthetically active radiation. So this is basically the amount of light that is usable for your plants, or the wavelengths of light that is usable for your plants. Essentially, lumens are for humans and PAR is for plants. Is this the most important parameter? No, because we're either dealing with full spectrum light or a non-full spectrum light. Either way, they're definitely going to have the sort of NMs, or the PAR, that's what PAR is measured in, is NMs. What PAR represents is the amount of light that's in the wave band that is acceptable for your plants. So if I take this plug here and try and go and plug it in somewhere in Europe, I'm just going to jam it right in the wall and I'm going to get all mad and not understand what's wrong. Because this plug is not made for European plugs. They have a different electrical system. Just as if, you know, lumens, I can see lumens through my eyes. You can't figure this out, though. I can see lumens through my eyeballs because that's what I'm receiving, but the plants don't see that way. They don't see lumens, they see PAR. Now, is this the most important factor when picking out your grow light? No. The next factor that's a little bit more important than this last one is PPF, and that is photosynthetic photon flux. This is the amount of PAR that is going to your light. So think of PAR as cinnamon, and you're about to sprinkle it on a nice slice of bread with butter that's melted right on it perfectly. You want to add some cinnamon. You know that the cinnamon or the PAR is right. It's not like you're putting on pepper or anything like that. It's cinnamon. So it's going to taste good on the bread, right? PPF is equating to how much of that cinnamon you're putting on, right? So let's say we're going to put on a tablespoon of cinnamon. That's going to be too much cinnamon. Or we're going to do a tiny little sprinkle of cinnamon. That's not going to be enough. Clearly, we need more cinnamon than that. So PPF is going to tell you how much PAR is being received by your plant. Now, to add one more layer on top of this thing, we've got the PAR, we got the PPF, now we have PPFD, which is even more important than everything down below this. PPFD is photosynthetic photon flux density. PPFD is the most important thing that you need to look at when choosing a grow light. So this is going to show us not only that we've got cinnamon and not only that it's sprinkling onto our piece of toast, our delectable breakfast snack, but it's also going to tell us how much for how long and how dense it's getting spackled all over our piece of bread. So instead of like a sprinkle of that cinnamon, it's going to show us if there's an outpouring, or if it's going to show if there's a little sprinkle here, but then out on the edge, there's just really not quite much. That's what PPFD is going to tell us. It's going to tell us the overall map of density for the photosynthetic photon flux that this light is putting out. That is the most important part, but after that is going to be PPE, and that's going to be the efficacy of this grow light. That's essentially just going to tell us how efficient the diodes that this company has chosen are at transferring electrical energy. Alright. Transferring electrical energy from this 120 volts out of this driver into 36 volts through all of these diodes into photons or wavelengths of light for our plants to receive so they can grow our glorious blessings of abundance. So now let's go through the manual. I'm going to show you exactly what it tells us on here. I'm assuming that we're probably going to have to go online too, because there is 4 different languages here. And we've got 1 language here, but just not a whole lot of information. Not a lot of information at all. It does have a couple of warranties on here, a 90 days all-free warranty. Free components, repairing, and service can be provided within 3 months after delivery. So that's cool, 90 days right there. Looking through, then we've got the specifics that we want to look at. We have the SF600, and this tells us the spectrum of light. I don't really care about in this case. Power draw, I don't really care about. Amperage, I don't really care about. Frequency, I don't care about. Light size, oh, light size, 100 centimeters long. That's how long this light is, 100 centimeters. But then, besides that, no information. So, it looks like we're going to have to go to the internet again. This is episode number 2 of Grow Light Delight. And so far, we've had to use the interwebs twice to find all of the information we need. So maybe, just maybe, instead of providing a bunch of different languages and 1 sheet of paper and nothing else, maybe you guys provide some other information on this manual, please. That would be really, really appreciated for your customers. Really, the only useful information I have on here is that this light is going to draw about 75 watts in total. Alright, breaking out the good old interwebs. Hello, Miss Google. Let's see what we can find here. Searching the internet for SF600 Grow Light by Spider Farmer. Now, I do know that Spider Farmer has some incredible reviews on YouTube, some really cool videos. It looks like they have a lot of great products as well. So I'm definitely not hitting on them for this, but I need to give you guys constructive criticism. I understand that the people buying these lights probably don't realize what they're actually looking for in a grow light, but if you want to gain some authority on the grow light spectrum, then you're going to have to stand out in a couple of different areas. Now, you've got 1 billion reviews, you've got 1 billion of videos on YouTube about your grow lights. So I would like to see you back that up with your product specifications on your manual that you provide with said product. Alright, it has taken a hot second. Boy, oh boy. Going on the Amazon website, we have a couple of parameters that are of interest to us. This is the energy efficiency, so the PPE, this is 2.3 micromoles per joule. Okay, definitely good. PPF, we have 166.81 micromoles per second. Now, PPFD is what we don't have on here. I will say that the PPF looks a little bit low on this light. I'm assuming that it's just because of the type of design that it has here. This makes it a little bit difficult to measure out in any sort of a mapping or a spot measurement. So since this is only a couple of inches wide, we've just got 2 strips here. That's why the PPF is going to be a little bit lower, but that's not necessarily going to decrease our yields whatsoever. Just keep in mind the way that we're growing. We're going to be wanting to grow directly under this grow light in a linear fashion instead of like a square bed under this or something like that. But I still cannot find PPF at all, so I'm going to send them an email. Hello, do you have a PPFD map for this light? Send. All right, we got it. Well, we kind of got it. So this is what we've got here. It's not a map. It does give us PPFD values, but it says 817 PPFD at 6 inches, 350 at 12, and 218 at 16 inches. Let's put this away. Since you could really only be directly under this, I don't think it's really going to matter where our plants are, except for, no farther out than this, we'll probably get the same PPFD. But the PPFD that they listed is not a map type PPFD, so I don't know how much fallout this light actually has. That is going to be important to provide to your customers, guys. Obviously, you're making a ton of sales on this, which is very cool. Very happy for you all, right? But it's something, just a quick study that could cost probably, I bet your company could get this done for under a few $100s per light that you produce. Yes, it's going to cost you a little bit more money for the upfront studies, but for the couple of $100s that it's going to take per light that you manufacture, that's going to be some information that is very valuable to professional customers that you have. And you're going to want to stick out to your customers, right? So plan this out, Spider Farmer. Get your PPFD maps for your grow lights, because I simply don't know if my plants are growing over here or over here, how much light they're going to be receiving. And also, the PPFD seems a little bit low, but again, this is just a 600 watt LED grow light, and it is pulling 74 actual watts. So yeah, that the efficiency is okay. It's not going to be drawing a lot of power, so we can't expect it to be producing a lot of plants. But looking at the numbers again, at 16 inches, 218 PPFD is going to be barely enough for us to grow seedlings. At 12 inches, we get 350 PPFD, which is basically what we want to be growing our seedlings under in the first place. And then at 6 inches, reaching 817 PPFD, that's about where we want for our flowering and vegetative states. So your plants are going to have to be pretty close to this thing in order for them to be flourishing and to be happy and healthy. But we will be testing this. I could be proven completely wrong by this. Just based off the numbers, it's looking like it's going to have a little bit of a hard time stacking up to the competition, but we will see how this grows. At 817 PPFD, that should be able to grow all of the flowers that we need to, but it will have to be pretty close to this grow light and also pretty stacked tightly within this linear length of the grow light too. So I would be very surprised if I can grow the length of this little shelf that I've got here plus as deep. I would probably have to use 2 of these per shelf instead of just 1 of them. Although, to be fair, I usually do use 2 300 to 600 watt grow lights for these shelves anyways. So as far as power demands go, at 74 watts, it's going to be just fine for me. I am not going to complain about that one bit. Sorry guys, I'm being a little bit critical on you here because I just really would like to see the grow light industry going in the right direction and not the wrong direction. So we want to make sure that we're, one, educating people on the products that we're creating, educating people on the parameters that they should be looking at. Two, making sure that we provide all of this information in the description, that we're not just providing hot links and hot topics, some keywords in there that make people excited about this grow light. We want to show them why this grow light is so good. And trust me, I do believe this is a great grow light. I hope it grows our plants very well. We're about to plug it in here to see what it looks like. I have no doubts that it will grow our plants. I've never had a grow light not be able to grow the plants I grow indoors. But we do want to make sure that the overall experience for people is just better, that education goes around, so we don't have this constant battle between the HPS bulbers and the LED growers. Because I tell you what, I get comments all the time about people saying, this grow light isn't gonna work, it's not gonna grow nothing. You ain't got no power out of that thing, there's no photons traveling. Well, photons aren't really traveling through the air anyways, because, you know, photons are a particle. I hate to break it to you, but if particles were coming out of light or diodes or bulbs, then said bulb or said diode would constantly be losing weight, and that doesn't happen. So that's a common misconception. They're not photons. They're really everything around us is just vibrational frequencies, wavelengths, and all kinds of other really cool stuff that you got to look into. The dielectric and the magnetic fields of this world and of this universe are something to be astounded by. Rant over. I got people saying that these lights will not grow anything, and I'm here to prove them wrong. Here on Grow Light Delights, we're going to talk all things LED from this point on, from our unboxing to the growing of the plant. So now is the point in today's episode where we plug this bad boy in just to see how much of a tan it can give me. Put the power in, you get the power out, you put the power in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey in. Alright. Let's plug it in. Fire me up, Billy! Wow, I should have my sunglasses on for this, but it looks like we've got 3 different types of diodes here. We've got the red diode, we've got the blue diode, we've got the white diode, and it looks like there is two infrared diodes or something. I don't know, 2 diodes that are very dim. One right here and one right here. Just a curiosity. I don't think it's giving me a tan. Maybe if I do it this way. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. So, Johnny, I will tell you, gardening is situational. All things we do in the garden should be situational, and this light is no different. This light will do a very great job at growing plants in a specific orientation, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to be highlighting the plants that we grow down here in the basement as well with it, and all that kind of good stuff. So that's going to be on a future episode of Grow Light Delights though, so stick around for that. Hopefully we put these videos out maybe once or twice a month and show you all of the cool things that we're going to be doing down here. I hope you found today's video slightly entertaining and possibly even learned a little bit. I hope Spider Farmer watches this whole thing and sees as well that I would like some more information on their packet, more information on their website, more education for the people as well. that would be good to see. Otherwise, decent light. Interesting manufacturing. I haven't really had a grow light like this. Typically, you do get the grow lights that are, square like that. They used to be big fat ones like these. Big fat grow lights. Like this. Aocrian grow light here. That's a 1,000 watt LED. This is a 600 watt Faceta LED right here. See that big fat grow light? And then this old one, this is my, what is this? I think this is an Aocrian as well. Yeah, that's an Aocrian that has definitely seen better days. But these have big, fat, loud fans on the back of them, and they used to have to. You used to need these fans for these LEDs. But now, you can use these very efficient, rather cool for the most part, LED strips and boards that don't need fans. So it's going to make it quieter for us as growers, a little bit more of a pleasant experience downstairs. So that will then allow these companies to start producing different looking lights. So I'm assuming this thing is rather cheap for them to produce like this. The most expensive part is going to be the R&D and then producing this actual diode here. The casing, I mean, this is, they probably can make this for a few bucks on the dime. A few dimes on the dollar, a few pennies on the dollar. Probably doesn't cost very much for them to produce this. All that to say, as technology gets better, the consumer will then start to receive grow lights that work better at a lower cost. It's going to take less of a chunk out of our wallets at the end of the day, and hopefully get more and more efficient over time as long as we don't hit some sort of roadblock in LED technology where we realize it's just not going to get any better. But I believe we can manifest the future a little bit better than that. God willing, we will have his blessings in the realm of grow light delights as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I wish you all a happy gardening adventure. If you're new to the channel and are still watching, you've got to subscribe. You made it to the end of the video. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And hit that little bell button thing so you can be notified of every time we come out with a video, and give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. Let me know if you've used grow lights that have went kaplooey in the past, if you've got any grow lights that you like the best, if this grow light is not going to grow anything and you think it's just not going to do well, let me know. And if you think this grow light's going to do awesome, let me know that as well. Let me know if you had some garbage for breakfast, or let me know if you had an awesome everything bagel for breakfast. Whatever it might be, comment down below. Happy gardening, and we'll see you in the next episode.